Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, we typically post a lot of book content, but if you saw my last video, you know that I am slowly going to start implementing different things that I love to do in my everyday life onto this channel. I don't want it to just be book content. I really want it to be just like a well-rounded version of me, because I have so many other hobbies and things that I love, and I want to show off like my life to you guys, and just I want to do more than just the book content. But that being said, this is a book video because I do what I know best, and that is book wrap-ups. So for this video, we are going to be doing the March wrap-up of all of the books I read and all of the books that I am hopeful to read in March. So with all that being said, if you are new here, please be sure to subscribe down below. I would absolutely love to have you here on my little platform on the internet. And without further ado, let's talk about all of the books I read in March. So the first book that I read in March, I actually do not have with me. I don't have a lot of the books that I read in March because I either loaned them or read them as audiobooks. But that being said, the first one I loaned, and it was Swimming Lessons by Lily Reinhart. This is a poetry book, so if you are not aware who Lily Reinhart is, she is Betty from Riverdale, and I just like really love everything that she stands for as a person, on top of just being a really excellent actress. And when she said she was coming out with a poetry book, it intrigued me right away. So I took a while to pick this up, but I'm so happy I did it, and I just read a few every couple of days, and it was really refreshing and nice. And I think that I want to start picking up more poetry in the future. I think that it just really can resonate with your soul and how you're feeling at certain times, or it can help you reminisce on different things that may have happened to you in the past. I just love poetry. I think it's beautiful, so I really love this. I did not rate it because I don't tend to like rating more like non-fiction-y books, but nonetheless it was really excellent, and I am so happy I started off my birthday month with this one. The next one that I read was actually on audiobook, and I started using Scribed, which, if you are not aware, it's just a really good audiobook app, and it does not cost as much as Audible. This is not sponsored, but like it does not cost as much as Audible because you're able to just like search through a ton of audiobooks, and you can read more than one per like credit, because with Audible you have to buy each credit individually, and it gets really costly if you want to do it that way. So highly recommend Scribed. If you haven't heard of it before, I will link it down below. Again, not sponsored in any way, but I just think it's really great. So anyway, the next book that I listened to was Dear Dolly by Dolly Alderton, and if you know, I read Everything I Know About Love, I believe in January, and I freaking loved it. So I decided to pick this one up, and honestly I would say I loved it just as much, maybe even a little bit more, because it was essentially just people sending in questions to Dolly at her like journalist job, and she was giving everyone wisdom on, you know, money situations, friendship, love, really unique situations just like within ourselves, and giving really funny but logical and cynical and just really good answers. And it was just like a really quick, good audiobook to pick up, so I highly recommend that. Once again, I do not rate my non-fictions, but it was really excellent, so definitely look out for that one if you have not already read it. It did come out pretty recently. The next book that I read in March is actually not fully done yet, but I'm still going to talk about it because I told myself that I wanted to do at least one reread this year, so I decided to pick up The One by John Mars, because if you know me, you know this is one of my absolute favorite books of all time. And I'm like a little over halfway right now, so I'm giving myself grace. Maybe I'll finish it in April, but I still wanted to talk about it because I was really nervous in my last video. I think I mentioned that I wasn't gonna like it as much, and so far I do. So that being said, this is like a thriller sci-fi romance about an app where you send in DNA and they find your perfect soulmate in that sense, and then you meet and see where it goes. But there are a lot of like issues along the way. It breaks up a lot of couples that aren't necessarily perfect matches, or like soulmates genetically, and the ones that do take that leap and try and start a relationship don't always work out. So it has a lot of twists and turns, short chapters, really intense plot twists, and I highly recommend you pick this one up. It's crazy because I'm seeing how many books I read in March, and it's way more than I thought it was. But anyway, the next one that I picked up was actually Lost in the Plot's book club pick, and it was Ghosts by Dolly Alderton. Once again, I love her. I've literally read all of her books at this point, but this was really, really good. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. There was a couple parts at the end that I just like felt icky about, that I couldn't give it the full 5. I'm not going to spoil anything, but essentially this book follows a girl named Nina who is around 32, I believe, and she decides, I'm single and I want a relationship, so she goes on a dating app called Links, meets this guy named Max, and they hit it off immediately. They have this like really deep connection over a short period of time, and he ends up ghosting her, and throughout all of this she's also going through her older dad having dementia, her mom not coping very well, her friends kind of like drifting away from her. Just, it's that life stage where people are having kids and a family and buying houses, and she just felt like she was a little bit behind. It's just a really beautiful story, in my opinion, about only really going for the love you deserve and not feeling like you need to rush because your timeline is different than someone else's, and just really holding on to memories with people. I feel like that's what this book is encapsulating, and I really liked it. So I highly recommend picking this one up as well. I can now confirm that I love Dolly Alderton's nonfiction and fiction because this is a contemporary romance. Can we acknowledge how freaking cute this cover is? I am obsessed. And the last book that I read in March is actually another one that I book loaned. It was a graphic novel, I believe a 9 to 12 graphic novel called Anne of West Philly, and it was so cute. I gave it a 5 out of 5. I really, really liked it. I think it had a really great message to it, a lot of really great like mini lessons throughout it for 9 to 12 age group, and overall I just thought it was amazing, and I really hope that they continue Anne's story because I think that where it left off it could definitely be like continue on into her high school career, because it kind of follows her in like middle school, and it is a spin-off of Anne of Green Gables, so there is that like she's a foster kid and she goes into a home and all of these things, and I just thought it was beautiful, had really great representation without it being like just about the representation, and yeah, that's all I can really say. 5 stars. If you like graphic novels, I highly recommend picking it up. The art was stunning. I just had a mini freak out that I did not click play, but I did, so we're okay. Okay, we're gonna get into the books that I plan on reading in April now. So it is the 28th of March, and I have already started reading something on my Kindle. I started reading You Shouldn't Have Come Here by Geneva Rose. I'm literally like 2 chapters in, so I can't really say too much about it, but I am very excited. It is a thriller about this woman who goes to an Airbnb in Wyoming in the middle of nowhere, and she kind of gets along really well with the landlord to the point where he kind of becomes obsessed with her, and it makes it very difficult for her to leave when she wants to. So it's just kind of like a be careful who you trust type of thriller story, and I'm really looking forward to it because I loved The Perfect Marriage. So yeah, that's what I'm reading on my Kindle. And if you were wondering, I did create these cute little e-reader cases. I also create them in book sleeves. They are crocheted, all of them are unique, and they all have this little flap button, or you could just go without the button honestly and just like tuck it in. I like the way that looks too. But yeah, these are on my Etsy, which is always linked down below, so you should definitely check them out for yourself or gifting for someone else. Oh, I have too much hair. Just putting it out there, I plan on cutting it really short this summer, and I'm really excited about it. That being said, I am finally gonna read A Court of Frost and Starlight. I am going to read it. I'm literally just like manifesting it. This will be read in April. I know that we still don't have the 6th book announced, but I have a feeling it's going to be announced and it will potentially come out next year. That is my hope, but we shall see. Anyway, this is kind of like a little novella. I heard it's really light and fluffy and just kind of follows Feyre and Rhysand before Sarah J. Maas wrote A Court of Silver Flames, which moves on to Nesta's story. So I'm really looking forward to this. I feel like it's just going to be a nice little pick-me-up, easy read, and yeah, I'm excited about it. I feel like this is a very ambitious reading goal for April, but I will say I feel like I've been getting out of my reading slump here, so I'm very hopeful that I will read almost all of these books in April. If I don't, it's fine. I also really want to read Neon Gods by Katie Robert. My friend Sarah is like obsessed with Katie Robert, and I understand why, because a lot of people at my work have raved about this as well. So this is a very like spicy Greek mythology retelling, romance obviously, but I was worried that I wasn't gonna like it because I thought I had to know a lot about Greek mythology. Apparently it's a very modern retelling, and you don't need to know everything about Greek mythology to grasp what's going on, so that made me decide to pick it up. It's about Persephone and Hades and their relationship. So yeah, it's apparently unspeakably hot, and this is a series. I don't think you need to read all of them, but it helps if you read all of them in order. So I started off with Neon Gods, and we'll see if I pick up the other ones. The next book I plan on reading is Gallant by V.E. Schwab. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous book. I mean, look at the back. She's stunning. It's also a first signed edition, which I just got really lucky with. I didn't even realize that it was a first signed edition when I got it, but here we are. So I'm reading this for Lost in the Plots book club for April. We decided to go with a fantasy. I like to choose at least 1 or 2 months a year where we switch it up, because we usually like to read thrillers and romances, I find. So this month we are reading fantasy, and in a couple months or a few months I want to do another classics month. But this one was voted for April. I'm very excited about it, and I honestly have no idea what it's about. The shadows are not real. The dreams can never hurt you. You will be safe as long as you stay away from Gallant. Olivia Pryor has wondered who she truly is and where she belongs. Her only clue is a slim, battered journal. Then a letter beckons Olivia home to Gallant, the one place her mother's journal warns her to never go. Olivia goes anyway. No one at Gallant sent Olivia that letter, and no one will tell her what haunts her cousin's dreams, what happened to her mother, or what lies on the other side of the wall. Did the shadows call Olivia home? What will they ask of her in return? So that actually does sound really interesting. It doesn't really give you a lot to go with, but I kind of like that in synopses because I like to kind of go into my books blind. So I'm looking forward to it. It is a YA, and I've heard really good things, so hopefully I enjoy it. And the last book on my list for April is Addicted to You by Krista and Becca Ritchie. This is another spicy romance, and this is a really long series, so like, will I actually get to all of them? I don't know, but I wanted to give it a shot. This is, I believe, Lily and Lo's story, and it's about them both being addicted to something. So she is a sex addict and he is an alcoholic, and they're best friends, and they pretend to date to help each other hide their addictions. But then it says, strangers and family begin to infiltrate their guarded lives, and with new challenges, they realize they may not just be addicted to alcohol and sex. Their real vice may be each other. So I have a feeling this is just going to be really chaotic. I am praying that it's not going to be as toxic as Magnolia Parks, because I did not like that book, but this one just might do it for me. So I'm looking forward to this. It's actually not that long, but the other ones in the series kind of are. So like I said, we'll see if I continue it, but for now we'll start with this, and I will let you guys know my thoughts next month. Also, before I end off this video, I think I've mentioned it, but I am starting to blog again. So whenever or if ever I do not post a video on here, I might actually end up doing a blog post on it. So you guys are more than welcome to check that out. Please check it out. I am very proud of my website, and I've been working really hard to learn how to just like make it more reachable for you guys. So it is lostintheplotbookclub.com. I would really appreciate if you guys could check it out. I'm posting every single Monday at 9 a.m. It is going to mostly be book topics on there, but I do have a section for more like personal lifestyle things, other things that I enjoy, and I just would love your support. So thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you guys in my next one whenever I decide to pop in again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching. Bye.